Okay. So I'm gonna once I verify that our stream is actually going, we'll do mic checks. Come on, stream. I believe in you. Okay. It appears we are live. Let's do a mic check.
Mic check. Mic checkity check check check.
Okay, you're good. I'm good. Hello, everybody. It's been a bit since we last streamed some X-Wing, but we finally have reached the top four. And today we will be streaming the first top four match of our Militant Casuals West Coast Jank Tank tournament. Our top four matchup today is between Lord Isophane and Darryl McMillan, both of whom are really Militant Casual adjacent, but that's fine. With me tonight, and I think the only person with me at the moment is Vince from the Wide World of Wargaming X-Wing podcast. Say hello, Vince.
What's going on, everybody?
And we may be joined by other folks. Bobby will probably, I'm sure, find his way into the room at some point. So we have a classic X-Wing matchup here. You know, you see these sorts of ships on the table all the time in X-Wing miniatures. So for Darryl, we've got Corran Horn, Harrison Dula, and Captain Rex. And for Daniel, we've got the Epsilon Squadron Cadet, Hollow, the TIE Baron of choice, Petty Officer Thanison, and Lieutenant Rivas. So if you've been watching our streams up to this point in this tournament, you've seen a lot of Daniel. I think we streamed one game that Darryl played up to this point, and I get the sense that Darryl lost that game because I don't think he was thrilled to find out we were streaming tonight. So let's start talking about Darryl's list, and Vince, you're a Rebels aficionado, so let's have you talk a little bit about what you think about Corran, Hera, and Captain Rex.
Well, in Jank Tank, there's not too many things you can get worse than a high initiative E-wing with advanced proton torpedoes. You are almost guaranteed to get that shot off every single game. Darryl, in this case, also happens to have outmaneuver on it, which is just going to make it more brutal. If he does happen, if I were him, I'd be aiming Corran Horn squarely at Thanison because he could burn him down basically in 2 shots. You've got 2/3 of what would be a great Hera build in Intimidation and Dorsal Turret, but then the moderately useless Ghost title and Skilled Bombardier.
Yep.
And then one of the most... Captain Rex is an odd duck for Rebels. Rebels don't have a lot of condition cards in the entire faction. They're rare as a rule, but really, I think Suppressive Fire, apart from Informant, is the only one the Rebels have access to. And because of his low initiative, his ability to strip red die with that condition a lot of times gets left behind. However, if I remember correctly, this Hera does have swarm tactics, meaning that normally he swarms up Rex up to initiative 5 and then just smashes you with Hera, which is going to serve him well considering we both know Daniel is going to give him initiative.
Just to clarify, this Hera unfortunately has intimidation, not swarm tactics. But
interesting.
Yeah, what I wanted to say a little bit about Captain Rex is, you know, not really actually the most efficient TIE fighter you could throw on the board. You know, Captain Rex comes in at 30 points, a little bit more expensive than you might hope for, you know, an Initiative 2 ship. That said, like, Captain Rex is really in this 3-ship list kind of just a toss in, and if you lose the 30 points, you don't really care because it means somebody had to fire at, you know, Captain Rex.
Yep.
So yeah, I really like Darryl's Corran build, and honestly, the MVP of that build is static discharge vanes on Corran Horn.
Oh, of course, absolutely. I do want to say one thing, though, before we go over to Daniel's build. Rex is actually in a really interesting position in this specific matchup, even without swarm tactics, because he shoots before Thanison.
Yeah.
And that the Upsilon's main selling point really is the fact that it's a 4-die primary.
Yeah. Oh, sorry, go ahead. You were going to say something else.
I was going to say, every round of shooting that Daniel has to spend shooting at Rex to get that suppressive fire off of him is around Rex is getting bonus for his points.
Yeah, for sure. This might be the one time Rex really is worth his points is against a low initiative for die ship like Petty Officer Thanison. That
Mm-hmm.
said, if Daniel does his job, I would expect that Rex is going to have a hard time getting in on Petty Officer Thanison. I suspect that he'll probably move these TIE fighters in as a screen if he can. It does look like, well, actually, we can't really tell who has initiative because most of Daniel's list is at I1. But
Yep.
Daniel does have Petty Officer Thanison, the ESC, and Rivas on the board. Captain Rex is aiming for a lane on the left-hand side of the center. And let's see. I guess we'll figure out who has
As
initiative
expected,
right.
Daniel passed initiative.
Yeah, I think you're right because Hera just went on the board, and Corran Horn will have to go on the board, and then Hollow will go on the board. Uh, so Thanison versus Hera is not a terrible matchup.
No, not at all.
Not at all, right? So I feel like this game is going to come down to really how Daniel runs Hollow. If since Hollow is given initiative away, Hollow is going to have the ability to reposition and do bad things. And if Hollow can survive to the end game, then I feel like Daniel's got a shot. If not, then this could roll very much, the other way very quickly. So, Vince, if you're Daniel and knowing the Rebels as you do and Hera and Corran as you do, what is Daniel's sort of key to victory here?
Land a block on Corran and kill him with Hollow.
So Corran is his prime target. I mean, that makes sense partly because Corran is 90 points and Hera is only 80. But do you feel that Corran is the most dangerous piece as well?
I think an outmaneuver proton torpedo landing on any one of Daniel's ships is good game, and that's assuming he doesn't line up the bullseye for Corran's double tap ability.
Yeah. That would be. Go ahead.
I was going to say the flip side of that is if Rex lands a block on Hollow and Corran picks it up, just pick Hollow up off the board. Just pick him up.
Yeah, so let's go through the points values actually really quickly here too. So, Daniel's got these two low initiative cheap ships in the Epsilon Squadron Cadet and Lieutenant Rivas, and obviously neither of them is going to be the key to this game in terms of taking them off the board, but they're annoying, so you don't want them to just get free shots on the Ghost for sure.
Right.
Petty Officer Thanison is 81 points, so he would be, I think, like the natural target to try to burn down if you can. But as you say, like Hollow is so potentially dangerous that you can't just let him run free. So we have started. It looks like we're going dials down here. What do you predict from the Rebels on their first move? Are we one forwarding to victory here? Obviously, not including Captain Rex.
I wouldn't be shocked. I mean, it's as a guy who plays a lot of E-wings, it really isn't ever a bad idea to start a game with a one forward, take your lock on your preferred target. Hollow can't fly as slow. He does have one hards, but he doesn't have a one forward, if I remember correctly. Actually, I need to go find that dial. He's got everything but a one forward. He's got one hards and one banks. So he could stall. I mean, it wouldn't be that difficult. But he's still going to have to commit to a direction. And then once you start moving at high speed, an E-wing really is not that far behind any of the ties. It just doesn't. It just gets into a problem without action efficiency. So I would send Corran right after Hollow and just not let him ever land that outmaneuver. I expect in a straight-up dogfight, Rex and Hera would trade pretty evenly with Thanison and two TIE fighters. Just having Rex to neuter the Epsilon and then having Hera just delete the ties one at a time doesn't seem like a bad way to win this game.
Yeah, and I was going to say, I actually really like what Daniel has done with the setup and having Hollow on the board last, because he does make Darryl have to make the difficult choices here, right? By splitting up the team and having the two TIE fighters. And obviously a very straightforward, choice. I'm not saying Daniel did something like groundbreaking, but a game of X-Wing often does turn on which player makes the most mistakes. And in that sense, if you have a list that can force your opponent to make tough decisions and potentially mistakes, then you're halfway towards a winning list. And as you say, maybe the right thing for Darryl to do here is split Corran off to deal with Hollow. Though, of course, knowing that Hollow is going to have the repositioning um, benefit there.
I definitely have a camera going on for some reason. I'll be right back.
Oh, if you were talking right there, Vince, you seemed fairly muted. And if you were talking right now, I'm not hearing you. If you're out there in TV land, can you tell me if you hear me?
Testing 1 2. Am I back?
Okay,
Am
I
I
hear
here?
you. Do you hear me?
I hear you. I don't
Okay,
know
cool.
what that was. My Discord started flashing up that it couldn't hear me either. So maybe a momentary computer mic malfunction.
Okay, cool. So the early moves we've got here so far is Daniel turned his TIE fighters in. He self-blocked Petty Officer Thanison, which is smart. You don't have to take the red stop that way. And Darryl's coming in pretty fast, coming in hot. So let's see what Hollow does here.
That's aggressive.
Yeah, so we've got the 4 forward and getting pretty close to firing range right out the bat here, depending on what he
Yeah,
chooses to do with his actions. And of
that's
course,
not safe, my friend. That is a dangerous decision to make.
yeah. What do you think Daniel will do with his actions here? I'm thinking
I
barrel
I
roll.
hope
Go
I
ahead.
hope he rolls towards the bottom of the board.
You think use that rock as cover? I mean, because
Yeah,
he could roll, right, and then just plan to bug out and keep Corin, sort of chasing him.
that's true, and that would be a bad investment. However, Darryl, I don't think Darryl's going to do that. If he sees Hollow turn towards that side of the board,
Yeah.
he'll probably just turn and drop everything on these. Those Tie Fighters won't last long against Corrin and Hera.
No, they will not. You're absolutely right.
And I mean, once they're gone, you can take an Upsilon apart pretty bad by himself. You know.
Yep. Yep. So Daniel is choosing to barrel roll to the right towards that gap, which I
Okay,
I,
so
I kind of like because it does make Darryl have to make the hard decision.
it yes, but also it doesn't. You can't bank from where he is right now. Meaning that if you're going to try to push in on Darryl, it's going to take you 2 turns. And by the time you do that, Hera and Corrin are on these guys. And Corrin will move that lock all day, every day. It's an E-wing. He'll throw it around willy-nilly. Believe me, I know how to do it.
Yep.
Like this is not a terrible spot for a. I mean, I would consider a three bank roll out of Corrin, or maybe even a 4 straight boost or a 5 straight boost, and get behind that rock where the shield marker is. And then you have Rex basically 2 forward, and you dare Hollow to chase Corrin.
Yeah.
Because if it takes more than 1 turn for Hollow to kill Rex, do you really care?
Well, here's kind of what I'm thinking is, the advantage to the positioning that Daniel does have here is he does kind of make Darryl have to decide. Do you go ahead and go right now at Hollow, or do you go and join Hera? And to me, the value to that is you just dial in a 2 forward for Hollow, and depending on where Corrin and Captain Rex are, you're not getting blocked, and you're going to have your decision making. And if they both turn towards the other first order ships, then you have your option to target lock boost. So I don't hate it. I think if he'd barreled the other direction, then he'd have committed essentially to be on that side and not have as many, I think, defensive options. So we'll see how Darryl responds to this, but I'm
I
kind of
really like
ambivalent either way, to be honest.
I really like a 2 forward from Rex here.
Yeah, I don't hate that for sure. But I do think Rex basically evaporates if that is what he chooses and Daniel engages.
I don't know. I don't know if he evaporates. I mean, Hollow would have to land a perfect set, not save it for defense, and he would have to blank out.
Do you think there's any chance that that there's the two forward from Rex and maybe a bank towards Hollow from Cornhorn here?
Absolutely, that's absolutely a consideration that Daniel has to be wondering about. Because if you line up in that, if you could always, you were talking about a 2 or a 3 straight.
Yeah.
If Rex goes 4 straight roll and he gets in front of Hollow and Corn lines up that bullseye, that could be like game set right
Yep.
there.
Yep, for sure.
And Corn's not afraid to go head up with Hollow. Like he's got R5, he's
Yeah.
got 3 charges of regen. It does
Yep.
not matter.
Yeah, plus, 3 shields, 3 hull is no joke when you're talking about against, any 4 health Imperial Ace.
Mm-hmm.
We talked about that a little bit when it wasn't an Imperial Ace, but we talked about that a little bit when Daniel matched up against a Delta 7B Jedi. It was kind of the same thing. You're not afraid of that matchup in a Delta 7 because you're happy to trade a little bit of shield to try to get some damage through on and Hollow. It just never ended up with them really actually having arc on each other. That might not have been Daniel. That might have been one of our other Hollow players actually. Now that I think about it, but
So here's something we haven't considered yet. You could 3 bank with Hera here to the left.
so there is Darryl with the 4 forward, and he's gonna.
I would not be shocked for him to roll forward and to the left.
Yeah, he kind of has to, I think.
Oh yeah, he absolutely has to.
Yeah.
You gotta make Hollow commit to a fight or commit to running away. There it is.
And there is Corrin. Oof.
This is the focus. This is the focus all day.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yep.
He wants that. He's hoping that he 3 straighted.
Yeah, for sure.
Daniel better pray to the heathen gods that he didn't.
Oh, look at that. Even Hera is turning towards Hollow. Okay, so
I said it was possible.
Darryl is all in on this one.
I mean, it's not a bad call. If you look at what he's not going to take shots from 2 of the 3 ships, and from 2 of the 3 ships on the bottom, and he moves faster than all 3 of them.
Yeah. So he seems to be. What do we have here? Like a target lock attempt? Yeah, he's got a target lock on.
It's a lock.
All right. What do we got?
Oh, we got him.
Oh,
this is bad.
And yeah, and Hollow doesn't even have arc on Corrin, I don't think.
I think he probably does, but it's not. I think he got very lucky on turning there. He may have slipped out of bullseye. He is still going to get smashed.
Yeah, he is. He does have arc.
It's range. Okay, so it's range. Looks like it's 2. Did they say it doesn't have arc?
No, he does have arc, but Darryl fires first because Darryl has initiative. And that is range 2, actually.
Yeah, that's very. Oh man, he was hoping that he 3 straight. It's so bad.
I didn't see if we got bullseye though.
Pick Hollow up right now. Still, this is a great start for Darryl. Like this is fantastic. Oh, we got him. He does have
him. Yep.
If you're Daniel, this is absolute worst, almost not absolute worst case scenario, but a close second. Yeah. Because you have your lock for your follow-up shot.
Yep.
Oh, God.
Yeah, that's pretty brutal.
I think this game just took a very hard left turn.
There we go.
Hera. Oh, so Hollow didn't have a shot. No, that can't be right.
Well, Hera didn't have target lock range before Hollow moved, but now that Hollow's there, definitely seems to have range.
Yeah, this is going to be purely unmodified, not even a saw.
So let me go ahead and go over to our scoreboard, and I'll put our scoreboard into chat in a moment.
Oof, he's dead. Hollow is gone. Right there.
Yep. Well, Corrin won't be using his double tap.
Nope.
All right, so that's 65 points in this round, straight to Darryl here.
Yikes. I don't have another. I unfortunately don't really have a lot of descriptors for that one. Who is this? Oh,
This is
this must be
Hollow
Hollow
firing on Corrin.
on Corrin. Yep.
Yep.
Okay. I mean, it's not nothing.
Yeah.
You got some. The one thing that Corrin can't do is regen shields. So
Yep.
you got permanent damage through.
Yep. And
oof.
oh wow.
Yeah, I was worried about that.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the thing that they have going for them though is Hera is not in position to K turn here. So
No.
all they really have to worry about for a bit is that dorsal turret. And Corrin's going to have to
True.
spend some time, turning around. Now, I'm not saying this is in like this is great for Daniel.
No.
It's more that it's just not a disaster for Daniel.
Yeah, he has a moment here where he can probably push some damage through on Hera. I would not be shocked if she takes reinforces for the next 2 or 3 rounds. Corrin, I think you probably. I mean, Rex is gonna 3 straight roll towards start heading down towards the bottom. Corrin, you
Yep.
could probably. Oh God, I hate saying. I don't want to say this, but a 3 bank I think fits around that rock for Corrin, and then you boost off of it. Yeah, Daniel needs to put through some serious damage on Hera before Darryl brings his whole list back around. Yikes! That's just. I dislike being right when it's that decisive.
Yeah. Yeah,
The
that
other
was
thing,
just a great position and great barrel roll for Rex.
yeah, it was so obvious. I'm honestly shocked that Daniel did that.
Yeah, I'm
Normally, when
actually, I guess I would say, knowing, I mean, I didn't necessarily see the 4 forward barrel roll getting to that exact position, but, a safer move might have been a 2 hard uh, or bank in the other direction and then, barrel roll boost. But, nonetheless, here we are, and Daniel's got to, pull himself out of a ditch, and Daniel has in many X-wing games throughout his career been able to turn around tough situations. So we'll see if this is going to be one of those.
Yeah, the only real problem with where he put Hollow is that Hollow had nowhere to throw tokens,
Right.
even if that had turned into a real engagement and not just. I hesitate to call it an execution, but if Corrin is a quarter of an inch further, that probably doesn't even go to a second shot.
I mean, I think
So
the only thing we could guess is that Daniel didn't expect complete commitment on Hollow, which, I mean, that is a pretty aggressive play.
but it's one of those things where if you're right, you see how much it pays off.
Yep.
I probably, if I'm Darryl, I'm 3 banking Hera towards the bottom of the board and reinforcing the back.
Yeah, that probably gets out of it potentially gets out of arc of the ESC, maybe, but yeah.
It definitely is going to get you out of Arctic Fantasy after
Yep.
that move.
Yep.
I like what Daniel's doing. He's trying to he's trying to close in before Darryl can get reorganized because
Yep.
that rock is really throwing the game off.
Yep. And there's the 3 forward from Rex, as we kind of expected. He's probably going to need to get out of the way of Corrin if Corrin is going to go that way around the rock.
I would say that barrel roll very
Yep.
cleanly predicts a 3 bank.
Yep. Yeah, I'd agree.
and then he'll white boost around and be in a perfect position for a 2 hard back into the fight. Oh, okay, he played it safe. I'm
Yep.
fine with that.
Yeah, totally, because you still can do the boost and have a pretty clear move next turn. So,
Yep.
yeah.
Yeah, boost forward. Oh, he's okay. So that's actually interesting. Is he not going to boost off of that at all?
I mean, I would be, if I was, in Darryl's shoes, I'd be wanting to keep my dial open for subsequent turns. So I'm not surprised he didn't chain it.
I suppose.
He would have had to do the boost first, regardless.
Right. I was assuming he would. If it had been me, I would have taken the boost right here just to get my gun, start getting my guns around, and then I take the lock probably after the 2 hard next turn.
Right.
Um,
Well, there is the 3 bank you predicted from Hera. So Hera will take a couple shots this turn, but
4K next turn.
I'm not sure you necessarily need to do that. If you just turn your, dorsal turret and then sort of move your way around, you can make Daniel have to take some tough decisions.
He's going to move his turret. Oh, he's got the target lock out, so he's going to move it now and try to ping a little on Rivas.
Yep. And this also opens up the possibility for Hera to just 2 hard next turn and start to get in behind Petty Officer Thanison. And there's probably nothing more nightmarish for an Upsilon than a ghost in behind you.
I think we can modify that to saying there's probably not a lot of things more terrifying for any ship in X-Wing ever than having a ghost, literally crawling up its ass.
Yeah. I mean, just particularly for the Upsilon, they just have no way to deal with that,
They can't do anything. They cannot do a thing about it.
Yeah. So Hera's got
She'll
a range
burn the
2
lock.
shot. Must be on Rivas, yeah.
He's taking a long time to decide about that. Okay.
Yep.
So he let it go. That's
And I expect Daniel will spend this focus here. Yeah.
Yeah. That's a gutsy. I mean, it's a small thing, but that's a gutsy call to not spend that target lock.
Well, I suspect again that maybe tells us that Darryl is planning to do something next turn where he would expect to still get value from that target lock, whether it's the 4K as you expect, which maybe that is the indication he's going to 4K and throw 4 dice. Oof. So
yeah, she's got 14 health, 2 damages. It's a start, but it's a long way.
Yep.
And
those crits would have been great if you could get some shots in on Hera last turn, right?
I almost would have put Hollow's dying rounds into Hera, I think.
Well, I'm not sure he had arc on Hera.
That's true. It was. I didn't even bother looking at that.
Now on the upside for Daniel, he was able to get down. Okay. There's the shield back up.
I was wondering why he pulled all 4. I only saw 2 damage actually.
There was 3. So there was the hit crit on the first shot and a hit on or a crit focus on the second shot.
I got you.
Yeah.
Yeah. So normally, what is an advantage for Thanison here? Having those the 2 little goons out there as kind of his lead blockers is actually really cramping him right now.
Yeah, he's going to have a tough time getting arc on anybody this turn with Thanison still. He's going to, in fact, it really does incentivize him, as you say, to move those ties really fast, which, potentially makes them vulnerable to, Corrin, if nothing else. Plus, they have to move before Hera does, so it's not like they've got free movement.
So you know what I actually really like here? If I remember correctly, the TIE FO has a sloop, correct?
They do.
I would love for Daniel to sloop both of those up towards that rock, up and to the left. because there's zero chance of them getting shot from up there. It doesn't exist. They'll be far enough away from Hera that that a dorsal turret won't be able to engage. You'll clear the room for Thanison to be able to get up front. And Hera and Rex are both turning this turn.
Yep.
I mean, you don't want to have to force these little guys to take, to take on an advanced proton torpedo, because that's just how you lose one outright.
Yeah.
But he's not going to do it.
Yeah. He wants to get points off of Hera, would be my guess.
He's only 4 hits away from doing it.
I mean, the thing is that Corrin's got lock on Thanison, so he does put Darryl in a position to have to think hard about does he switch the lock to, say, Rivas, which probably helps Daniel in the long run. Though you're right, I mean, Thanison can really do nothing more but a 1 bank this turn and is still not going to really get shot on anybody. So
if you're willing to risk it, you too hard because you do have a force token. The problem is as soon as the problem is Rex is going to 1 hard and he's going to have arc on you.
Yeah.
And the TIE fighters are not in a place where they can do anything about Rex.
Yep.
Which is words I never thought I'd. That's the worst possible.
Well, he didn't he did overlap the rock. Oh.
Yeah, that's very bad.
That's brutal.
I hope he didn't hear me and think, oh man, that too hard might fit.
Or actually, yeah, it looks like he is. Okay, I'm not sure what just happened.
I don't think they're sure if it stays on the rock.
Gotcha.
I'm gonna.
I zoomed in to take a look. It's definitely on the rock when he's.
So that looks like it's on the rock right there. I think he's on the rock.
Yeah, I think he is too.
Yep, he's on the rock. That was what the barrel roll was. I think the barrel roll was the check.
Smart. Yep.
Okay, well that's another minor disaster that Daniel has to encounter.
It's especially bad if Corrin ends up with arc. Also, especially bad if Hera 4K'd.
I doubt it. I would be if he was going to 4K, he would have spent that target lock last turn.
I would have kept. I mean, 4K to me is you keep the target lock so that you've got a mod on your 4-die shot.
Judge, I think you need to go tell him that he's on the rock.
Yep. All right. So there's 2 hard from Rex. Daniel rolled the die to see if he took any damage from the rock. He does not.
He does not. Good spot for Rex. I would have 1-hearted, but that's just me.
Yeah, I think.
I'm annoyed at Vessel tonight. Daniel, we all feel it, bro. Okay, there you go. That's more in line with what I thought. Is that barrel roll from Rex?
Yep, there's the 2 hard for the Ghost.
You got to be very complimentary of how Darryl's flying this game out. He's gonna not only is he probably gonna rip that token with a range 1 dorsal turret shot. Rex is gonna pull 1 die off of Rivas.
Yep.
So he's gonna be even at range 1, he'll be shooting 2 die. Oh, it's so big. It's honestly so big that Daniel hit that rock. Otherwise, he's shooting a 5-die force modified shot into Hera.
Yeah.
I mean, that's probably is half right there.
I didn't even think about doing it too hard because I was just too afraid of that rock. That's why I kind of assumed it would just be a one bank and he wouldn't really have arc on much. And honestly, if he had one banked, that might have made Captain Rex slightly more reluctant to do that barrel roll. But here we are.
I think if he'd done that one bank, Rex would have just shot Thanison.
I mean, I think that's okay. Like, because you have the option to do, could reinforce, and then maybe you don't care so much. More so just, I mean, now you're not even firing back, and you just can't have a turn where you have no action and no shot back.
Yeah, I agree, and this is why I said he needed to clear out with the TIE fighters. But at the same time, I guess he just really wants to.
Well, I do think. I think that the too hard, even if the ties weren't there, is still he's on the rock at the end of that move.
We have a rules question. Reinforce won't work because his ships overlap the halfway.
Yes, correct.
All right, this is the turn. I think this is probably where you see Corrin boost and get ready to dump that proton torpedo.
Yep.
And if you're Daniel, you do everything you can to make sure he does not get it.
Yeah. Well, I expect we're going to see the boost here too, because there's no risk at all.
I'm moving the lock to Rivas.
Oh, interesting.
I like it. Yep, probably should see a boost coming around to his right. He'll have an outmaneuver. Rivas is going to get lit up.
Yep.
I would be surprised if he sees this turn out with this combination.
Oh, he shouldn't.
With three, Ben, you know as well as I do, 3 green dice control real hard when they want to.
It's true. But, I mean, he's going to take 3 shots before he even gets his own opportunity to shoot, so...
True. That is correct.
Rivas looks like he is getting a lock from Corrin's stress, I think is what we're being told in chat.
No. The E-Wings linked maneuver causes him to pick up a stress.
I see what he's saying, yeah. But isn't Rivas supposed to also get something if somebody takes stress? Not that it would be smart to change the lock, but anyway. All right.
So he has a choice.
Yeah.
Daniel has a choice.
Right. Oof, that's a terrible roll to start out with.
Save it. Don't even bother. Yeah, I would not have spent that lock.
Well, that makes it more likely Rivas will survive. And Natty's out of that first attack.
Yeah. I would have saved the lock. You know what? 30. If your Rivas is what? 27, 28 points?
27.
20.
Yeah.
You know what? 4-1 is not bad return on your investment for an advanced proton torpedo.
Yeah. Though I think Corrin's lock needs to go away, right?
Mm-hmm. It does.
Much better roll, though, there. All Hera has to do is spend the focus. And I imagine if you're Daniel, you go ahead and spend that focus here. Yep.
So like I said, not terrible odds Rivas gets out of this turn alive.
That's true. That's exactly what you said.
There's suppressive. Yep. So there's nullifying the range 1 bonus, which is nice.
Yeah, it's totally.
Unmodified regs.
Darryl's just going to roll natties here. It's fine.
We have not had a drop yet of just roll natties. Ooh, so close.
That's a pretty good roll, though.
It's
probably going to get that crit through. Oh,
there's Daniel.
There's Daniel's green dice.
We were wondering when they'd show up.
Well, they saved his ass there. He gave up no points on 3 shots. Now, of course, if you're Daniel, you kind of wished you had all three of your shots on the ghost, but sadly, that was not to be. So let's see. The ESC has a range 2 on Hera, which I think you clearly take here.
Yeah, you take and you burn and you burn that lock off.
Yep. Because again, you're gonna have to move before Hera moves. That's brutal. I mean, just spend the lock and reroll.
Just spend it. Just burn it, Daniel.
Yeah.
There you go. Eat up the last shield.
Yep. He's rolled a lot of crits that haven't mattered so far.
Yeah.
Wait, wasn't there a shield left?
I'm looking at the board and there is. I got it.
I guess I never should have told Darryl to drink his 2 beers before the game.
Speaking of beer, I just wanted to, if they're listening out there, Kona Brewing, Longboard Island Lager, delicious.
Nice.
We'd love you to sponsor our podcast.
We've actually got one of their seasonals in our fridge. We've been enjoying their seasonals. The first one was like a coconut. It was like a pina colada ale, and this one is a wheat beer with like pineapple, orange, and something else. They're both very good.
Yeah, you don't get no Vassal hates rerolls. It's my time.
Yeah. Okay. Enough with the conspiracy BS. Vassal does not hate rerolls. We've proven that over the last few games we've streamed.
You can't take the sky from me.
All right, Mal.
You know, very good quarantine viewing, Firefly.
Oh, yeah.
Also, hilariously underrated movie. Serenity was great.
It's a pretty polarizing movie is sort of how I've seen it. Like,
I have heard that as well.
yeah. I think it's fine, but I know a lot of folks who just detest it.
It is odd how often these things work.
The series was better.
The series was better.
All right, so I think we're back to dials here, and neither side gave up half points there. And in fact, nobody fired at the rocked Rivas, which ultimately works into Daniel's advantage, except this means he really does have to move those TIE fighters first, because otherwise he stays on the rock. So not a lot of flexibility for movement here. This might be a good time, actually, for at least one of those sloops you were talking about.
I would love to see the Epsilon Cadet sloop right in front of Rex. I think that'd be great. And I would love to see a 4K out of Rivas.
What do you think Thanison does here?
You cannot. I think you won straight.
Do you think he gets off the rock with a 1 straight?
Yeah, absolutely. You go your whole base length over the rock.
Oh, man, I'd just be worried that since he hits Hera, that he would still have his butt just barely on the rock with that.
Nah, because you can't one bank. You really cannot one bank.
No, you really can't. You're right, because if you do, you're just basically
you're too far.
You're boned.
You're too far ahead, and you're in that disaster area where now Hera's right behind the Epsilon, and you're never getting away from her.
Yeah. Yeah.
She's 4K. We all know it. Daniel knows it. Darryl knows it. God, in his infinite wisdom, probably knows this maneuver. Knew this maneuver. Same time the rest of us did.
Yeah, and actually, in that vein, I actually think Rivas 3 hards in front of Hera and takes a focus, and then we'll get the free target lock when Hera 3Ks. I agree with something like a sloop or 4K from the SC at that point. I do not know where Thanison goes.
The problem is if Rivas does that, you know he's staring down a range 1 modified shot from Hera.
Yeah, I mean that's fine though, right? Like if you absorb that shot from Hera, at least you have the focus token for defense. Um,
I suppose.
I mean Rivas again. Rivas is 27 points. What you really got to
Yeah.
do is somehow keep poor Thanison alive. And I just don't know. I mean maybe it's worth just doing the one forward bump just to draw fire. I don't know.
Daniel's in a tough spot. He had position up until Danielson hit the rock.
Yeah.
Daniel had position,
Yeah.
and now he's absolutely it's flipped again.
Yep. Yeah, if he had won banked last turn, he has his choice of arcs to put on Corrin. So there is a 3 heart in front of Hera, and I don't think that's a bad move. It does draw
Nope.
fire depending on what happens with Thanison.
You do know your Daniels.
Well, I just thought about it in terms of like, what if Darryl didn't do the 4K?
Oh,
And
going for a nice little block on Corrin. I think
yeah,
that sells one straight from Thanison. Yep.
yep. Oh, and he gets off the rock. All right,
I,
you
I'm
had it.
100%
You were
confident
correct, sir. Well done.
because now, yes, he won't have a target lock, but you do not want to be Corrin Horn, who's probably going to get blocked here, staring down the business end of a shuttle.
Yeah, yeah. Especially with the
Okay,
double block there, which that three bank from the ESC was a great call by Daniel.
yeah. I mean, I half called it. I did say sloop there too.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, it's the same space. Oh wow, that is a
Yeah.
huge deal for Daniel here.
So not as big as you think. Remember, Rex does shoot before Thanison,
True,
and he will be more than happy to move that suppressive fire.
and that does look like range 2. But I mean, but still, you don't want tokenless one
No,
shield Corn Horn to be taking even 3 dice with a
that's
with
correct.
force backup. So not I mean, this is Daniel's chance for the comeback.
It is a big chance.
Yeah.
He will not get many more like this.
No, he will not.
The only the saddest part is that he bumped on that 3 bank, because if he didn't and that Epsilon had a focus,
Mm-hmm.
Cornhorn is probably dead.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, even here, you could put a damage through with that if the thing is that Corrin could also do his double tap on the ESC if he really wanted to here. So there's
Yeah,
options.
remember that's initiative 0 for the second shot.
Yep. Yep. Yeah.
So
I just mean like there's a chance the ESC could go off the board, which is no small thing, right? Because that's Daniel's generic blocker.
Yep.
Yeah.
So here it comes. This is where Rebus prays to every god he knows.
Yeah. I mean, he took the focus. It's a single modded shot from Hera. The dice
Yep.
will ultimately. Yep. The dice will ultimately tell us.
I just want to point out another reason I didn't like spending that target lock last turn. Imagine if Corrin had a lock right now on Rebus.
So not a terrible start there with a hit and a crit.
Nope. That's very good.
And now we'll find out for real if Vassal hates rerolls. Nope.
He needs 2 paint and no direct.
Yep. He really wants 3 paint, to be honest.
Yes, he does. He got 2. Now he needs the second part.
Yep. All right, we'll find out. But again, like, okay, sorry, 27 points. If you're Daniel, you're not. And Fuel Leak is literally the best case scenario for you.
It is.
You do not give a shit about that.
Nope.
So.
No, Darryl, no. You don't get the arc dodge after you shoot with Hera. So
now Corrin will go.
I go for the Epsilon.
I agree. You could always fire it.
You could always go for Rivas.
You could go for Rivas with your final shot too. I mean, Rivas is at most going to do a couple damage to the ghost. Big deal. I don't know. I think I'd be a little bit more afraid, given that Corrin is 90 points. I don't want a lucky shot from the SC to put half points on him. Yeah, so.
Okay, that's fair.
Yeah.
This is where X-Wing loves to make somebody whiff, though. Yep.
All right, so that's not terrible, though. 2 hits. I mean, that's going to put a damage through on the ESC, but kind of hoped for a little bit more, I think, if you're Darryl. I mean, you'll follow up, probably.
I would love to see Rex put 2 or 3 damage on a Thanison right here. Yep.
Yeah, that's the right call to fire at Thanison. You've got to protect Corrin.
At all costs.
Yep.
At literally at all. You'll let Hera die before you let Corrin die with 3 R5 charges on him.
Yep.
Not fantastic.
Yeah, you like that. Okay, I mean, 1 shield. I think if you're Daniel, you just happily take that and move on with your life.
Oh, he can't do anything about it. He has to take it.
Well, yeah, but I mean, it could have been worse is kind of what I'm saying here. All right, so now we're to the ones.
Okay, these are big shots.
Yep.
Corrin's head is on a plate right now.
Rivas is down to 1 health, right?
Rivas is at 1.
Okay, so that's half points.
So that was not the start he wanted from Thanison. No, this must be Rivas if he's re-rolling.
Yeah, that must be Rivas firing on the ghost. So that's just 2 damage to the ghost.
That's a good start. That's half. That is half on Hera.
Let's see. So Hera's down to will be down to 7. Yep.
Don't forget to reduce hull on Rivas and Hera. Okay. I'm like Jeb Bush reading off the prompter.
Please clap.
Please. Oh my God. If you ever feel small in your life, folks, just remember that a man from basically a nationwide political dynasty once had to tell an audience, please clap.
Yeah, I'm not sure what Daniel's undoing here.
I don't know either. What are you I had focus token re-rolled. Oh, he re-rolled the focus. He forgot he had a focus and re-rolled the focus. There you go.
Okay.
That's pretty generous of Darryl to give him that. I'll take care of the hull on the TIE Fighter.
Okay. Oh, Daniel's got it. He got it.
Oop. Now it's at 20.
Damn it, Vince. That is now the invincible TIE Fighter.
Yeah.
20 shields and 20 hull. That's the TIE Fighter everyone has always wanted. So that is a great turnaround for Daniel here.
It's a good start. He needs to follow it up with this one right here.
Yeah. Well, I mean, let's see. So we're at currently. That's a pretty good roll.
Yeah, it's
that
getting
is
better
a great roll. Wow. All right, Corrin is at half, and we'll see a crit here.
Yep. If this is a direct, you can pretty much write him off. And
oh, wow.
Genius.
Wow. All right, so the score right now is 85 for Daniel to 79 for Darryl. And, of course, here's a follow-up 3-die shot on Corrin, and Corrin has no mods.
Yep. Now it's Darryl's turn to pray to all the heathen gods he believes in.
That is a great roll for Darryl.
Yep.
Oh, no. Oh, no. That is a dead Corrin before he gets his double tap off.
Not only before he gets his double tap, he dies with a full set of R5 charges.
Oh, so I think we need to talk a little bit about Daniel's dice. Because holy crap, does Daniel have some of the most amazing roles in X-wing?
Daniel is that dude who takes the first 3/4 of a game off, and then just when he decides he wants to show up, his dice show up to help him.
Yeah.
That's just incredible.
That is insane, insane, insane. Yeah, and as Darryl is noting in chat, no double tap here. Wow. So we are at the next round. We're at Dials. So is there a way for our friend Darryl to pull this out now? What do you think?
Oh yeah, Hair's alive.
6 health though, and no defense dice.
Rivas, if he shoots again, well, Rex can kill Rivas this turn, and there's no way. If Darryl does this correct, Stanison never gets another shot this game.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, that is the thing that Darryl has going for him is the Ghost, for all of its flaws, does have a turnaround move.
Yep.
So what do you let's put as the Rebel expert, Vince? What do you do here if you are Darryl?
5 straight from Rex. Well, oh my! You heard my inner YOLO just go off right there, folks. Oh, I don't know. I think maybe I try. I really don't like Rivas flying around at 1 health. I think probably you without veteran turret or without any kind of turret gunner, you're kind of stuck here. You can't keep leaving Thanison with full health. I think you probably K-turn Rex. Whichever one they have, I believe it's a 4. And then I think you either 1 or 2 straight with Hera, whichever one you think is going to fit. Because Rivas doesn't have a turn maneuver that'll keep him in front of Hera.
Yeah, this is tough because to Darryl's potential benefit, everything in Daniel's list has got to move first. So he could try to pile some damage through on Thanison because Thanison probably is sure not appearing in this fight ever again. And Daniel, sort of expecting that Hera might want to go slow, has just gone ahead and one-hearted in front. I like that move in case Hera just does a one forward. There's a sloop from the ESC to also keep guns on Hera. I like that a lot. And Thanison, I wondered if Thanison might just one hard knowing that he wasn't going to get a shot.
There's no guarantee he doesn't get a shot with Rivas where he is. If Darryl tried to 1 straight,
right, exactly.
This game could be wrapping up right here, guys. Depends on how willing. Okay, he did. Yeah, he tried to do it.
Oh, he tried a K-turn with Rex too. Wow. So that
Yep.
is a stressed Rex.
Add that one to the list of Vince's Tony Romo moments.
You said a 3 forward, right?
No, I said
You
2
did say
forward
3K.
with Hera and K-turn with Rex.
Oh, gotcha.
I said whatever K. I literally said whatever K-turn they have. I don't remember which one that TIE fighter has. I think Darryl's best move here is that he 2-forwarded and pray to God it clears Rivas, because if not,
yeah,
in bad shape.
I'm not sure he clears Rivas though.
I actually kind of agree.
Yeah, I think just because of the angle, I think he hits that corner of Thanison and ends up. I actually don't hate the one forward just because at least you get a shot on Petty Officer Thanison.
Well, you're much happier bumping Thanison here.
No, totally, because you don't want to take 4 dice versus
Yep.
0. I just don't think it would have ended up mattering. I think he would have ended up bumping back on Rivas nonetheless.
I think there's room for them for Hera to fit
Oh,
there.
but the thing is, he does have the ability to, because it's Hera, to
Yep,
yeah. But
and
I guess
think
he chose not to do anything crazy here.
what did he reveal? He
Revealed a one
revealed
forward, but I don't think like a
that
one bank or anything actually saves his bacon. So I think he chose to just stick with the one.
yeah, he didn't decide he wanted to take a chance on the 2 straight,
Yeah.
which I think would have. There's no reason not to. I would have done it just to do it.
Yeah. Well, I guess he decided to choose. Oh
Oh.
no.
Well, folks, if you like comebacks, Daniel Lim's your guy. No, Darryl, not dice, my friend.
No, I mean to an extent it has been. I mean I think Daniel has done the right moves after putting Thanison on the rock, but I also do think Daniel's dice. I mean we'll know when we do the post match analysis anyway.
Yeah,
So
it's just to me those rolls on Corin didn't look any different from the ones that happened to
yeah.
Hollow.
Yes, I mean I think that block was obviously super key, right? To get
Yeah,
those shots on Corrin, and that's but yeah, I, we credit to Daniel. That 3 bank was brilliant.
it was. It was a great call.
Yeah.
And I say it's a great call because it's exactly what I would have done.
Well, you were talking about a sloop, but yes,
In effect, it's the same maneuver.
it is totally in terms of the block, though. Though it would have made this turn a little bit harder for the ESC. So I like the 3 bank because now the ESC is basically like sitting there ready to do horrible things to whoever. And Daniel Natty's out of that attack, which he had a token as well, so that's the way things should have been.
The only thing I don't like about Daniel's turn is that he took a focus, not a target lock.
On the ghost.
On Thanison, yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Because you know
Well,
what? I'm gonna shut the fuck up because it's Daniel, and you know what?
the dice agree with Daniel always. So here we are. Oof, that's brutal. What a brutal
Yeah.
turn for Darryl. And of course, the ESC still has a chance to fire at Captain Rex if it really wants to.
Which I don't know why you wouldn't.
Right.
Dice are
It's the
dice.
only shot. So yeah, range 1 in fact. So we'll see what happens here. Because it's Daniel's dice, I'm sure this is natty natty crit. I mean,
I'm not gonna say anything because I've called 2 straight shots. Yep.
and that clears off the status, right? Is what they're showing us here.
Yeah, but I mean, Revis isn't really gonna.
Yeah.
Suppressive fire on Revis wasn't a huge deal.
No, no, no.
Yes, technically.
Exactly. It doesn't matter because Rivas probably could just go run away for the rest of the game. That's a pretty nice roll.
Hey, Darryl deciding he doesn't want to go quietly. Okay.
All right. So your thoughts?
The last 2 turns have been about as catastrophic for Darryl as anyone as that first set was for Daniel. I don't know how to get out of this. I think probably the high level move is to have Harris somehow delete that Epsilon squad and have Rex kill Rivas. If you can set that up.
Yeah.
Thanison's not turning around ever.
And
So
Denison's not doing a hard stop here either because he is stressed, so he has to move.
He has to move, meaning that there's probably room for Hera to do a 3 straight. That'll also be protected from a block just by the fact that Thanison's fat ass is still going to be there when the Epsilon moves.
Yeah.
Um,
I would be a little worried about the 3 straight ending up hitting Rex.
Well, if it's me, I'm banking Rex
I
Two
mean,
bank to my
yeah,
right.
you could try to get Rex out of the way, absolutely. In fact, sending Rex towards Rivas is probably the right call
Oh yeah.
because a lucky roll on Rivas and Rivas is off the board, and that gives Harris some breathing space. Um, but yeah, do you do a 3 forward or you just do a 2 forward? Because a 2 forward should get you clearance as well, right?
I want 5 dice. I don't trust Daniel to not go insane.
All right. So you want 5 dice on the ESC is what you're saying.
Yep.
Well, if you're a Daniel, do you move the Thanison out of the way first and put the ESC right in there?
Yes.
With yeah,
Absolutely. I'm playing
yes,
this the other way. Thanison is going to do a 2 bank right now. To buy himself, just to get him away from where Harrow's going to inevitably 4K. As a fellow E-Wing player, Darryl, yes, no evades haunts me too. Now you know what my life is like. Almost every competitive game I've played in the last 6 months. Okay, see, this is why I.
Oh, interesting.
Because that 3 straight is going to fit from Hera now.
Yeah. Yep.
3 straight is going to fit.
Yep. Interesting.
So this is a comeback moment. Like this is the one where you can turn the game around a little bit. If you're Darryl. All right, that's a good call. I like that.
Yeah, I like that too.
I really like that play.
And honestly, the only thing that works for Hera here now is a 3 forward because the 2. Oh wow.
Oh no.
What? Is this a barrel roll moment?
Is this a 4 straight? You know what? We got to consider the 4 straight on the VCX is white.
I'm so confused.
You got to roll Rex. You got to roll Rex.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking, right? You roll Rex behind Thanison. Nope.
What in the? That's not going to fit, Darryl. Not a chance.
Well, there is the 4K, but he is thinking about like what other hard maneuver could he do.
There's not there isn't one.
I mean, you could one hard just stay where you are, right?
You could, yeah, but you're going to give up a target lock as soon as you do.
That's very true.
And also, you know what else you're going to do? We haven't had an opportunity to say this. I need to pull up Daniel's list. You will trigger Thanison.
Oh, well, that won't matter in terms of like the.
It'll take away his. It'll take away his dice from range 3 from when that TIE fighter shoots.
Well, it's only one tractor token, right?
Yes, but it still does. It'll still reduce her agility.
No, it doesn't. They changed the rules on that. It only changes the agility once you have taken the number that the size does.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they changed that rule.
Okay, well that's Revis is going to pick up that free lock. He'd be crazy not to.
Yep. But you're happy if you're Hera that you're now at range 3 through a rock. You've got the same number of dice that Rivas has, and Rex has a chance to shoot first. Though honestly, if I'm Rex, I go ahead and fire it.
You got to start getting shields off of Anderson.
Yeah, I agree.
You cannot. You got to think long game here. I do find it hilarious that the Upsilon has a green die and the shuttle doesn't.
And look at that. Actually, Hera ends up with a shot with that dorsal turret.
She'll get something.
So that's a good 3-die shot into. I mean, 2 3-die shots really into Thanison. That's not a terrible thing.
Nope. Like we said, it's a good start. This is how Daniel got Hera so low.
Yeah.
I do want to tell everyone who's watching this is exactly why you put Zeb on Hera, by the way.
You want to do that range 1 5-die shot on the ESC, do you?
Oh, yeah.
Honestly, though, I mean, 5-die versus 3 with a focus, I actually kind of am okay with the 3-die versus 0.
Well, it's 1.
Oh, right, right. Yes, that's right. The Upsilon gets a die. My bad.
One is hilariously gets one green die. I would like to know what their rationale was for anything but the Decimator not getting a green die.
The ghost is big.
Yeah,
That-
yeah, it is.
I mean, I don't know anything beyond that.
It's a chunky boy.
Yes, it is. So Darryl is looking at 3 dice.
Oh, I don't know if
Yeah,
I don't know if I don't shoot Rivas.
yeah. You well, it with Rivas it's 3 versus 4. Oof.
3 dice, so he went after Thanison.
Yeah, he chose. Yeah, you're right. It was sorry 2 versus 4. He did choose Rivas, which I think is the right call. You've got to get those points on Rivas, and Rivas is not turning around anytime soon.
Did he
Of
not
course,
send his focus?
he must be keeping it for Rivas's shot.
Oh, that's bad.
That is a very Daniel decision. Oh, because he's getting shot twice. I understand. Yikes.
What does Daniel have that rolls 3 dice?
The ESC, range 1.
Oh, did he have Rex at range 1?
He did.
Wow, I didn't
Yep.
think that was range 1.
Yep.
Crit coming through.
Oh no, that's half points. Ouch.
You know, Darryl's got 3 health left total. Again.
And Darryl's response is basically what I'm thinking in my head, which is, God damn it, Daniel.
It's yeah.
I mean, crit focus is just not fair.
Look, man, it's anybody who plays cards knows some guys have it.
I mean, the thing is that Darryl rolled, above average himself, right? So
He did.
it's just unfortunate that it was the direct hit that comes out.
Yep. Look,
Yeah.
like I said, some guys got it and some guys don't.
Are you saying Darryl doesn't have it and Daniel does? Is that what you're trying to say?
I think Daniel has it more than
That's
Darryl does.
That's a pretty good roll here from Rivas, the natty hit.
I wouldn't be shocked with the way this is going. Oh, he went for Hera. 1 health left.
He sure did.
That's a good call. He probably would have.
I mean,
the way Darryl's been rolling, he should have got her.
yeah. I mean, odds are. Let's see. So you should roll 1 hit, and you roll somewhat less than 1 evade. So that's the right mathematical call.
But it's also the right strategic call.
Yeah. Well, also Hera's not turning around anytime soon because he, did do that 4K. So things have gotten a lot harder for Darryl.
So Thanison's going to stop. I'm serious. Like, at best, Rex has got a 2 forward.
Right. I mean, Thanison doesn't have to, though. I mean, you could also, just 1 bank and yeah, sure, maybe you take some damage from Thanison, but, if Rivas 2 banks first, then, Rex won't even have a token. So, I mean, you're right. Probably the right call is to stop, though.
If you want to keep avoiding damage on Thanison, which at this point is academic, I would stop.
Exactly. It's academic.
Man, you got to feel for Darryl. He was he was sledding downhill.
I mean, this looked like Darryl's game, and then one really, really, really good turn for Daniel was all it took to turn it back around.
It wasn't even that great of a turn.
That block was key.
Oh, right, but I mean, from a rolls perspective, he rolled 4 damage on 7 dice.
Yeah, I mean, Darryl should have had 2 evades in those 6 dice.
Correct. Darryl should not have taken whole damage.
He rolled below average. But that's X-Wing.
That is exactly. But
And
I take everything into account when I'm talking about feeling bad for somebody. And like, look, Darryl was playing this correctly. Like he was getting use out of a dorsal turret on like with the turret gunner. Like
Daniel's wondering if they
uh,
changed the round counter, and I'm like, I don't know at this point. I mean, there's 4 rounds left, and there's no way there's 4 rounds of damage left to be dealt here.
no,
So
that Epsilon
it
could
may just be the
right
beer
now is going
talking, but I'm just like, play it out, guys.
if I'm the Epsilon, I two sloop, towards the board edge, turn around and ghost Hera. Um,
My favorite thing about this game is, and I love the folks who are in chat. Thanks for, by the way, tuning in, folks, on a Friday night. Everybody now is talking about how Daniel's dice have broken basically everybody. And I have to tell you all, when I met Daniel, it was at a regional in Vallejo or Fairfield of all places, and his dice totally wrecked me. So I feel you all.
you know what? We call him the Lord. He
But
is the
also,
Lord.
But also, Daniel is a better player than I am, and he beat me that day not just because his dice were good, but because he was better than I am. So, just gonna say that.
Daniel with the BM target lock. That he'll
Yeah,
never
and
use.
we talked about him potentially doing a zero stop maneuver, but I don't. The two hard is it's just as good.
Oh yeah, no, there's nothing wrong with it.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, I feel for Darryl in this game because he did everything right in the first couple turns.
Oh, well, he didn't do everything right now. That was a mistake.
Hmm.
He's gonna fly off the board.
O'Hara
He's gonna fly Hera off the board next turn.
with the 2 bank.
Well, he's gonna two bank now. I mean, next turn he's
Because
changing it.
yeah,
That's
he
why
has the. I mean, he doesn't have to turn on go off the board. He is blue now, right? So he cleared the stress. He can just do anything he wants next turn, basically.
I am wondering.
And he's going to get a shot on the ESC. Actually, he's got 2 shots on the ESC, which is, honestly pretty good.
Darryl, don't reinforce. You have 1 health. Reinforce does nothing. Take the focus token.
Yeah, you've got to get the ESC off the board before it fires. I totally agree with you. Take the target
There
lock.
you go.
Yeah, or he took the focus, whatever.
Just anything for mods. That's it. Anything for mods.
Right. Yeah, I mean it's a 2 versus 3 shot. Focus is just as good as a target lock. Ooh,
That's pretty good.
beautiful natty. That focus won't matter for defense, but whatever.
Now, if there's any justice in the world,
Direct hit.
yeah.
Console fire, which
That's just as good.
well, he'll still fire though. It's not just as good.
Well, he still has a chance to kill him with Rex.
He does, and that's the key here. He's got to kill him with Rex. So that is half points on the ESC. This game is nuts, and I'm super happy to be streaming it because it's very entertaining.
I dump that suppressive fire on him just to make sure that when he shoots, it's 1 die against Hera.
That's exactly.
He's got to roll 2 paint, and then he has to survive the console fire.
Yep.
Daniel praying to Duncan Howard.
Wait.
Dead.
Oh. Is that a dead ESC?
Yep.
That is a dead ESC. Well done, Darryl. Well done.
What happened to Rex's focus?
He spent it because it was focus blank focus.
Got it.
Yeah, so he had to spend it. Now this is great. Now here's the thing. Daniel is still well ahead, 145 to 104, because he does not have half points on Thandison yet.
Sure. I suspect what you're about to say is that if he kills Rebus and Hap Stanison without dying, he wins.
Oof. Unfortunately,
No, Darryl. It's not how it works.
oof, there goes Rex.
Yeah.
Ooh, so Daniel is up 160 to 140.
$160 to how much?
104, sorry.
104. That's
Yeah.
better.
I did say 140, didn't I?
Yeah, you did. That's okay. That's why I'm here, to protect you from yourself.
It's the bourbon and the beer. I mean, this is why we have 7 people watching us at 10:30 on a Friday night. I have to ask, what are we doing with our lives?
Suffering through quarantine. If it weren't for this, we'd all be out doing something productive. Like, I'd be working right now.
That's true. I would not be doing anything productive at 10:30 on a Friday night, but many of you would, I'm sure.
Man,
And
this
actually,
is where we are.
you know what I would be doing? Is I would be doing a podcast for the San Jose Sharks, because that's what I do on Friday nights.
I'm getting some commentary from friend of my show and friend of the Militant Casuals, Jeff Wilder. I will not repeat it on air.
I mean, what's the harm?
I don't put people on blast unless it's Rick.
Wait, who's on blast?
That's why I said I'm not putting anyone on blast unless it's Rick.
If it's me, you have permission.
It's not you.
Oh, okay. Well,
Can we police the sacred? I didn't know Hera had a boost.
oh, he conceded.
Oh, okay.
All right. So that is the game, everybody. Darryl has decided that he can't pull this one out. So what we'll do is let's go in and talk to our players.
On you, I win.
Hey, folks.
Yeah.
Hello.
All right. So, wow. That game was really back and forth.
Darryl,
Yes.
Darryl,
Ups
you
and
got
downs.
jacked, brother.
Huh?
You got jacked, my friend.
I told you my dice are horrible, man.
Yeah, I robbed Darryl of a win.
Darryl was. Now I don't want to say I called that what happened to Corin, but Ben will say that I'm not that I said this is bad.
Oh
Like,
yeah. So let's actually take let's step back all the way to the beginning of the game. Let's kind of take this from the start. So
How about we start from round like 3?
Well, what I like to
round 3 was fine.
what I'd like to ask is actually, so we were talking about its setup. I really liked, Daniel, how you put Darryl in a position to have to decide what he was going to commit to, with the idea here that that puts difficult decisions on Darryl, and how you win at games of X-Wing is to make your opponent make bad decisions. And then Darryl fucked you.
Yes, very hard. Very
And
hard.
so, but then Darryl wasn't rewarded. I want to kind of push that aside, and I want to ask you guys kind of at the opening of the game, what was your goal? What was your win condition from your perspective? So, Darryl, let's start with you, and then Daniel will go to you.
Well, he didn't know it. My initial target was Stanison. I wanted to put all 3 guys on Stanison,
Yep.
and in 2 rounds take him out of the game.
And so you clearly
in 2 rounds of
changed.
attack. In 2 rounds of attack.
Yeah.
Yes, I changed.
Yeah. So do you regret that?
No. What happened was I took my Corrin target lock. I think it was on Stanison in the beginning.
Yep.
And then I realized that might make him pursue my ships at the bottom or do something different because of that target lock.
Yeah.
And then at the last second, I decided, you know what? I'm going to switch my target lock to, I think my second move, I switched my lock onto Holdo.
Yep.
Mhm,
And when I did that and I saw him behind the rock there, I was like, he's either going to go up top, and I'm going to have shots at it running away, or he's going to try to go to the bottom. Either way, I can account. Figured. I'm thinking when he did his barrel roll behind the big rock where the 9 is, I'm thinking he's going to try to bogey out to the upper part of the board.
Yep.
And that's when I chose to do a 4 forward and a barrel roll block.
Yep. And that move was brilliant because you did catch Daniel with the 3 bank and blocked him, and you got hollow off the board. I was actually myself a little surprised that Hera also turned that direction, but not super surprised, because you went all in on hollow, which I think Vince, we were talking about it, like, what's the win condition for Darryl? The win condition is get fucking hollow off the board, and you did. So let's move to Daniel. Daniel, what was your thinking going into that opening engagement?
So Darryl did surprise me by going so fast so quickly. I thought he would kind of play a little more cagey to see where my ace would go. And so I was kind of trying to stay, relatively in my zone, kind of keep that wall of rocks between me and him. And because he went so fast, I kind of panicked, and I don't think I should have barrel rolled where I did, and that kind of set him up for that perfect block.
And actually, to that point, Vince and I were arguing about what was the right barrel roll there. So I thought the direction you went was the right call because it made Darryl have to decide which way to commit. But Vince, you had a different perspective, so why don't you share yours there?
I don't want to say that I pretty much. The only thing I didn't get. All right, I'm just going to say it. I pretty much called how Darryl killed Hollow. I think Ben will back me up on that.
Yeah, totally.
I hated that barrel roll, Daniel. I hated it because you have a 1 hard. That rock is nothing to you.
Yeah, I know.
If he goes hard into that gap with Rex, you 1 hard and then you roll back out, and you're really not worried about it, or you just stay there behind the rock with 4 dice and a focus, even against Corin. Maybe you take 1 or 2. It's really not a big deal.
Yeah. Well, he does have outmaneuver, so if I was going to hide behind the rock and look the wrong way, it would still hurt a little bit.
Yeah. I'm kind of where you were, Daniel. Like, I didn't expect a 4 forward barrel roll, which is exactly what Darryl did and was fucking brilliant. What were you expecting Darryl to do there?
I thought he would just kind of play it slow.
2 straight?
Yeah, 2 straight, just to kind of keep the arcs wide, and then go see where I went. Because hollow from that position, I could 3 bank up, which is what I did. I could also hard 2 or hard 1 turn back towards my board edge, and again stay behind that rock, which in hindsight I should have done.
Right.
But because he went so fast forward, I freaked out, and I said, okay, I have to put some distance between me and him. Right. If I barrel roll to the northern part of that board and then 3 bank out, I could potentially, because it seems like he's diving hard and fast, I could overshine him and then boost back around.
Yeah.
Darryl, can I ask you a question?
Sure.
Did you give any thought to foregoing the focus and just going in and boosting in to try to get that torpedo off?
Good point. No. The reason why was I wanted maximum effect on a double tap torpedo followed by a end of round double shot on Petty. I was not going to. If I'd have had range 1 with that focus, I might have used the torp. But ideally, I wanted to save the torp for Petty.
Yeah.
For Thanison, yeah. That was what I figured you were going to do.
That's what we thought. And honestly, I was actually, when you turned Hera in and finished hollow off with Hera, I was a little concerned because, the position that Hera was in was not great for like the next turn. And so we were like, oh, okay, so yeah, hollow's off the board and that's really good for Darryl, but what sort of matters here is what happens next. And then Daniel, you ended up on the rock, and we were kind of like, oh shit, Darryl's got this game now. And then Dice intervened.
That rock.
Yeah, I
still debate that rock.
I figured if I did the 3 bank and I've got my dorsal facing the right side of I could just spin around that rock and keep shooting to my right and keep doing damage. I figured it would work. I just had no idea that Corin would tap out.
Yeah.
So I want to ask Darryl. I want to ask you another one. Knowing
Yeah.
as soon as you got Hollow, was it pretty obvious to you that Daniel was going to go after Corrin?
No, I just thought Corrin was going to be safe. He's got 3 defense die. He's got a focus token. He can attack, and
somebody who has-
go ahead, spend the token. He's going to attack Hera, and I had no idea that Corrin was going to roll 6 non-evades.
Yeah, because you should roll in 3 dice. You should have rolled at least 2 evades.
2. Yep.
Yeah.
Mhm.
But of course, unfortunately, this is X-wing, and that's what green dice do to you.
Yep.
Not only, unfortunately, is it X-Wing, you were playing against Daniel.
Now, I do want to say, I mean, that 3 bank that did the sort of bumps on your 2 guys coming in from the, from that side was basically perfect, right? So, yes, you rolled it below average, but Daniel did exactly what he needed to do to get back in the game there. So I do want to note here that even though you ended up rocking Thanos in the first turn, or second, or third turn, whatever, that 3 bank was great. So what I really liked about this game in terms of like commentary is you both made truly brilliant moves, and then the dice kind of ended up determining like whose brilliant moves mattered in some sense. So
my inner heart was very happy to see 2 aces get obliterated by good blocks.
So in my perspective, it's too bad that somebody had to lose this game. Because you both played, I think, a really great opening engagement, and then dice kind of took over at a certain point, and Corrin was off the board, and then from that point, you were at a real disadvantage. I feel like, I think Vince and I somewhat disagreed on that because Hera is at a 5 initiative, but once both Corrin and Hollow were off the board, I felt like, Daniel, your list had the advantage there. How did you guys feel at that point where Hollow and Corrin were off the board? So Darryl, what was your thinking?
I thought he had me because he had the benefit of a big ship and small ships with that big ship blocking me like crazy. I knew I'd have a hard time figuring out where he was going.
Yeah. How did you feel, Daniel?
Right. So when Corrin went down, I was resurrected a little bit because up until that point, once Hollow went down, I pretty much had lost the game, and especially after Petty Officer like clipped that rock just ever so slightly, I knew I was in trouble, and that was like you guys said, like that was when I was ready to throw in the towel at that point. So
he's telling me the whole time, "Oh, my game's over. My game's over." And then when he got Corrin, I started telling him, "Dude, you're advancing. Dude, you're advancing."
I mean, Vince, you and I were kind of in the same place, right? So talk a little bit how we saw the game at that point.
Okay, Daniel, I was ready to bury you when you hit that rock. Like,
yeah,
I was calling in I was going to call in the morgue. Like, if Corrin doesn't go down there, like right there, there's no way back. There's almost no way back.
Yeah. But it was really, honestly, it was Rivas. If Rivas went down there, right? Because that's who, Darryl, you chose to fire at. And you had 3 shots at Rivas, and then it just didn't work.
Here's the thing. Rivas living, Corrin dying meant he still got one more gun on the table, and I have one less gun on the table. Made all the difference. Rivas never died.
Yeah. I would point to that as being like with those 3 shots on Rivas and Rivas living to put damage onto Hera was probably the turning point.
Yep.
Do you guys agree?
Yep, I do.
Yep.
He had too many chips on the table.
That was the start of the turn, the start of it, and then getting that bump on Corrin, and then just not only did Corrin not roll any evades, but there was a direct hit. If I remember correctly, right?
There was.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. There was a direct hit.
So it was
all into his hull. It was crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was 0 for 6 evades plus a direct hit, and it just still barely just killed him. So mathematically, Corrin should have been alive with like 2 health, probably like 2 health still.
By the way, let me ask you, Daniel, because we weren't sure that Thanos would actually get off the rock with a 1 forward. With that bump.
You weren't. I was 100% positive.
You were? I was not. How did you feel about that? Were you sure you would be off the rock after the 1 forward into Hera?
Yeah, because he didn't bump. He made it through. Because I looked at the angles, and I know that if I had my generic Epsilon out of the way, he could fit there.
Right, because it's front to. I mean, it's literally the template is the movement is literally front to back, meaning that you're moving essentially your whole base.
Yeah, exactly. So the whole base is
No question you were
beyond.
off the wall.
Hey guys, are we being telecast? Or you guys just having a chat?
No, we're streaming, you guys.
You're streaming this conversation. Okay,
Yeah. We do this after every game. We want to see what you all think because I think it's, to be honest, like this is I think the most valuable part because look, Vince and I are dumb shits. Let's be honest, right? Like. Okay, I'm a dumb shit.
I just thought I'd temper what I was saying. That's why I was.
No. Darryl, don't feel like you have to temper what you're saying. Like, I mean, to me, like, what can be learned about X-Wing is talking to you guys about how things felt at a particular point in the game. I mean, anybody can stream, a game as it's going and share their own stupid opinions, meaning me, not Vince. What I think is valuable is to talk to you guys about how you were thinking about particular turns as we go. So I mean, I don't know if folks have found value to this stuff, but.
Well, absolutely. I wasn't knocking. I just thought I'd ask because I didn't know.
Yeah.
Because I hadn't watched one of the post games yet.
We are totally still streaming.
All right, cool. Hi, everybody.
Yeah.
I told you I'd be X-Wing famous for losing on the telecast.
Oh, what?
Hey, I'm an expert. I've done it twice.
Darryl, you made top 4, so don't feel like this is. I mean, as we kind of talked about, like part of it has, part of the results of this game is Daniel's dice are kind of fucking incredible.
He brought a game from the crypt and won.
Yeah. I mean,
hey, somebody get the log. Did we grab the log?
Oh, we should grab the log. I can grab the log if nobody else has.
I want to ask one more question.
Please,
I don't know
please
how many
do.
more you have. Daniel, who do you want more in the finals? Who do you want more?
Oh God.
Do you want to be the guy that assassinates Rick?
I mean, I did it once. I can do it again, right?
Oh damn! Yes.
That's what I wanted. That's what I wanted him to say was that right there.
Darryl, you were cutting in and out there. What were you saying?
Yeah, I walked away from my phone with my earpiece in. Let me find my phone. Sorry about that.
You're fine now, though.
Okay, so you gave him his loss, huh?
Yeah. I was the one that gave Rick his loss.
Because Daniel's existence is about destroying Vader.
I'll be honest with you. Of course, I wanted to win the game.
Yeah.
And if I did, I wanted to face Rick also just to get Rebel versus Imperial. So. Yeah.
But yeah, if you watch the match between me and Rick, you'll find that Hollow doesn't mind getting locked by Vader because Hollow just says, "Nope, Vader, your lock goes somewhere else."
Daniel trolled Rick into oblivion with Hollow. It was hysterical.
Well, and actually, Vince, you mentioned this during the Hollow's death, was that with Hollow kind of starting so far away from his friends, he actually couldn't make use of his ability at all.
I thought about that too. I thought about that while we played. I was like, okay.
Hollow can operate almost as an ace, even without anyone around, with pattern analyzer and outmaneuver, but not very well passing most of your mind.
No, I mean, Daniel, you're what you were trying to do there was to just get around and get the fuck out, right? Like, it wasn't that you were hoping to engage there at all.
And I wanted it off the board, and I said, if I can get this block, I can tap him.
Yeah.
And I figured, tap Hollow. Okay, fine. Hollow's gone. Now I got all 1 PSs. Now let's go take something out. And unfortunately, what happened.
Yeah. So actually, to that point, Darryl, so, let's make this kind of like the last piece here. So Vince and I were debating whether you would 4K with Hera at that moment where you two-hearted to put your dorsal turret on the TIE fighters. Did you think about 4K'ing there to have 4 dice in the target lock?
I did, but I did not know if I would go. I'm bad on judgment.
Gotcha.
I had already done a 3-bank facing the board edge.
Yep.
And I was looking at the board, and I did not know if three multiples of my ship, which is a 4K basis.
Yep.
Would be enough to send me off. And matter of fact, is it a 4K or a 5K with my ship?
It's a 4K,
4K.
because the 5K no longer exists because 2.0 wanted to destroy the Ghost and fuck you FFG.
Okay. So yeah, I was scared of the 4K. I didn't
Gotcha.
know if I'd go off. Matter of fact, just to test that theory, I might. Oh, it's too late. I'm already off the game. Did you record it, Dan?
Well, if you take the log, Darryl, you can, or copy and paste it, you can step back through it and see if you could make the 4K. We both, I think Vince and I both thought
I
you
didn't.
could. I thought
I
you
didn't
would
make a
too
log,
hard.
though.
I thought you would use the dorsal turret. So I thought I think what you did was what I would have done in your space. But
I
Vince,
figured
you
I
would
did
have 4K.
dorsal, but I didn't. A lot of my attacks,
No,
you
no,
guys
no.
saw, my attacks were like blank, blank, focus, blank, blank,
Yeah,
focus, blank,
yeah.
blank, focus. I wasn't getting hit.
On the turn in question, I actually had recommended, and this probably would have gotten you killed, so I'm glad you didn't do it. I thought you probably should have two-straighted.
Okay, instead of turning?
I thought that would have got you range 1 on the Epsilon. Then I saw what you did. Then I saw what you did with.
No,
with
we're talking
Rex.
we're talking about earlier, sir. We're
You know
talking
what,
about
though? Here's
earlier than
something
that
else.
when he was facing the board edge.
Here's something else.
Yeah, no, I definitely thought you were going to 4K there for sure.
Yeah, hindsight being 2020, of course, doesn't help. But had I not did that 2 right, I could have went another direction, maybe like a 1 left bank.
Yeah.
Turned the turret to my rear, and flew away from all those blockers because I really needed to get away from all that blocking.
Yeah.
The blocking killed.
Yep.
It did, but you know what? Even if you're worried about getting blocked, remember you have Intimidate. So when he's blocking you, he's actively killing himself.
Yeah, but unfortunately, I couldn't take advantage. I think I had 2 Intimidate shots and both of them whiffed. So
Yeah.
I agree with that. That was true.
Yep.
That was bad.
it wasn't working. So, Dan,
Well-
congratulations, my friend. I'm glad you're moving on.
Oh, thank you.
Oh man, that's too much good sportsmanship. I can't handle that.
I know, right? Like, anyway, kind of what I want to say is both to Darryl and Daniel, thank you guys for giving us a very entertaining game to stream. And, beyond that, I hope that you've enjoyed, Darryl, I hope you've enjoyed the Jank Tank tournament.
Absolutely.
Good. And Daniel, you're
I'm gonna
moving
go
on
read-
to
I'm gonna-
hopefully
I'm gonna go
beat Rick.
Go rethink.
Sorry, what were you saying,
sorry,
Darryl?
I'm just gonna go and rethink my life.
No, don't do that.
Like the guy in episode 2, I guess it was.
All right.
If I had to go rethink my life every time I lost a game of X-Wing, I would have no wait.
No, it's not rethink my life. It's go rethink my dice. Maybe that's it. Something like
Yeah.
that.
I mean, I think, honestly, what I really enjoyed about this game, you both, is that it was very much a back and forth game, and dice unfortunately did play a role in the outcome, but both of you made really excellent decisions at different points that could have swung the game either direction. So, I really enjoyed being able to kind of talk about this game, and I hope the folks who watch this also enjoy it. So we will not be back for the other top 4 match, which is at 9 a.m. on a Saturday. Screw that. But we will definitely try to be back for whatever the championship game is. And Daniel, you're going to go on to that championship game, so congratulations. Darryl, congratulations for making the top 4. And thank you, everybody who listened in tonight.
Also, Darryl, thank you for proving that Cornhorn is still overpriced.
Absolutely, he sure is. With
All
the
right.
bad dice and all.
Yeah. So I'm going to go ahead and end our stream. Thank you guys for letting us stream your game. And
All right, guys. Yeah, no worries.
we'll come back for one more game in this tournament, and then we'll figure out what the hell we're going to do as quarantine continues. All right. Bye, everybody.